You're in the gym, surrounded by dozens of machines, weights, and people doing all kinds of shoulder exercises. Front raises, side raises, pulleys, specific machines, and it seems like to get defined shoulders you need an endless routine with endless reps. But let me tell you something, that's a myth. You don't need an endless list of exercises to achieve aesthetic, defined, powerful shoulders. Just two. Yes, just two well-executed moves can make the difference between an average physique and shoulders that really turn heads. And today I'm going to show you what they are and how to train them in the most effective way to make them really work. It's not about training more, it's about training better. And we're not talking about random tips here, but training science applied to peak performance. So pay attention, because this is all you need to achieve well-defined shoulders with real volume. The shoulders play a fundamental role in the aesthetics of a well-worked body. They are the foundation of an athletic figure. If your shoulders are not well developed, your physique will never be complete. But beyond aesthetics, strong, well-trained shoulders are key to performance in virtually any pushing exercise, from bench presses to push-ups, pull-ups, and even deadlifts. Now, what makes a shoulder workout truly effective? To answer this, you first have to understand your anatomy. The deltoid is made up of three main heads: the anterior, lateral, and posterior. Each has a specific function, and if you want full development, you need to train them all. But this is where most people go wrong. Many people think they need a different exercise for each part of the shoulder, when in fact the key is to choose movements that stimulate them efficiently, without the need for endless routines. And this is not just a theory. Biomechanical studies have shown that certain exercises achieve optimal deltoid activation, recruiting the most muscle fibers in each repetition. It's not about doing more, it's about doing the right thing. And that's precisely what we're going to look at today. I'll show you the two unique exercises you need to define and strengthen your shoulders, based on real data and not assumptions. If you apply this correctly, you're guaranteed to notice a difference in your physique and your performance in the gym. But first I remind you that you have discounts and flash offers on all products of the brand HSN, such as proteins, creatines, and everything related to sports supplementation. Only for people who are in the Schengen area. You can find all the exclusive links in the description of this video. Don't miss the opportunity. Now yes, let's go with the first exercise. The military press with barbell or dumbbells. If there's one exercise that defines who really trains their shoulders with intensity, it's the military press. This compound movement is not only the king of deltoid development, but it also engages the core, trapezius, triceps, and even the upper chest. But why is it so effective? The answer lies in muscle activation. By pushing the barbell or dumbbells overhead, the anterior and lateral head of the deltoid work to their maximum, supporting the load and stabilizing the movement. In addition, studies have shown that the military press generates one of the highest muscle activations in the shoulder compared to other exercises. In other words, with less training volume, you can get better results if you execute it correctly. And therein lies the key: technique. To get the most out of the military press and avoid injury, it is essential to execute it correctly. To do it correctly, stand with your feet shoulder-width apart, keeping your core firm and your back neutral. If you're using a barbell, hold it with a slightly wider than shoulder-width grip, resting it across your upper chest. From there, explosively push upward, making sure the weight follows a straight, controlled line. As you reach the top, don't completely lock out your elbows to avoid unnecessary stress on your joints. If you use dumbbells, the principle is the same, but with an added advantage: a greater range of motion. By starting with the dumbbells at shoulder height and pressing upward, the deltoids are activated more deeply, allowing for a more natural and safer workout for the joints. But it's not enough to do it right. You must also avoid the most common mistakes. One of the most common is using too high a weight and compensating with the lower back, leaning the torso backwards. This not only reduces shoulder activation, but also puts the lower back at risk. Another mistake is to lower the bar or dumbbells incompletely, limiting muscle activation and wasting part of the stimulus. If you really want to define and strengthen your shoulders, the military press should be the foundation of your workout. You can do it standing to engage more stabilizer muscles, or seated for more control and focus on the deltoids. In addition, there are variants such as the Arnold press, which adds an extra rotation for even more complete activation. In short, if you want wide, rounded, well-defined shoulders, the military press is not optional. It's the exercise that makes the difference between an effective workout and a mediocre one. But to complement this development and take definition to the next level, there's a second exercise that can't be missing from your routine. And this is where lifts come in all their variations. If the military press is the king of volume and strength in the shoulders, lifts are the key to definition and muscle separation. This exercise, in all its variations, allows you to specifically work each portion of the deltoid, ensuring a balanced and aesthetic development. Unlike the military press, which involves several muscle groups, the lifts are isolation movements. This means that they allow us to concentrate the work directly on the portion of the shoulder we want to develop without significant intervention of other muscles. But this is where many people fail. It's not enough to just lift the dumbbells any old way. Precise execution and control of the movement are critical for real results. There are 3 main variations of this exercise, and each has a specific function within an effective shoulder definition workout. Lateral raises, the secret to broad shoulders. If you're looking for that broad upper torso effect, this is the exercise you can't afford to miss. Lateral raises directly work the medial head of the deltoid, which is responsible for giving the shoulder that rounded, three-dimensional look. To execute them correctly, grab a pair of dumbbells with a moderate weight and maintain a slight bend in the elbows. From a neutral position, raise the dumbbells sideways until they are in line with the shoulders, making sure not to raise them beyond 90 degrees to avoid unnecessary compensation with the trapezius. The key is to do the movement in a controlled manner, avoiding balances and maintaining tension in the deltoids throughout the execution. A very common mistake is to use excessive weight and compensate with body momentum, which reduces shoulder activation and turns the exercise into an ineffective balance. Remember, the quality of the movement is always more important than the amount of weight. Front raises power the anterior head of the deltoid. Although the military press already works the anterior head of the shoulder, front raises allow for a more direct focus on this area. They are especially useful for improving strength in pushing movements and for bulking up the front of the deltoid, which contributes to a more muscular appearance. You can do them with dumbbells, barbell, or discs. In any of the variants, the principle is the same. Lift the weight in a controlled manner up to eye level and slowly descend without dropping your arms. As with lateral raises, it is important to avoid using momentum and focus on muscle contraction. Posterior, bird, lifts, the detail that completes the shoulder. If there is one area of the deltoid that often gets left behind, it is the posterior head. Most people focus on the front and side of the shoulder, forgetting that the posterior deltoid is critical for a balanced aesthetic and strong posture. This is where the posterior raises, also known as birds, come in. To perform them, lean slightly forward, keeping your back straight, and lift the dumbbells sideways in a controlled motion. This exercise not only improves the appearance of the back of the shoulder, but also helps prevent muscle imbalances and reduce the risk of injury to the shoulder joint. Lifts are fundamental exercises when the goal is muscle definition. By working with higher reps and longer times under tension, we maximize muscle fiber activation and promote greater detail in deltoid shape. If you combine these lift variations with the military press, you'll get the perfect stimulus to build strong, proportionate, well-defined shoulders. But the key isn't just in the exercises, it's in how you implement them into your routine. And that's what we'll look at next. To maximize the development and definition of your shoulders, it's recommended to train them 2 to 3 times per week, depending on your level and the rest of your routine. If you work with a split approach, you can dedicate one day exclusively to shoulders or combine them with other muscle groups, such as chest or arms. If you follow a full body routine, including these exercises strategically will ensure a consistent and effective stimulus. Here is a recommended structure for including military press and deadlifts in your training. Option 1. Routine focused on shoulder development, specific day. Military press with barbell or dumbbells for sets of 6 to 8 repetitions, prioritizing strength and volume. Lateral raises with dumbbells for sets of 12 to 15 reps, focus on definition. Front raises with barbell or discs, 3 sets of 10 to 12 reps. Rear raises, birds, 3 sets of 12 to 15 reps. This scheme combines strength and hypertrophy to build bigger, more defined shoulders. The military press, at the beginning, allows you to move more weight and stimulate muscle growth, while the deadlifts polish definition and detail. Option 2. Integration into a push-up routine. If you train in a scheme of push, pull, and legs, You can integrate these exercises into your push day as follows. Military press, 4 sets of 6 to 8 reps. Bench presses or dips to complement the push-up work. Lateral raises, 4 sets of 12 to 15 repetitions. Posterior raises, 3 sets of 12 to 15 reps. This approach allows you to work the shoulders along with other muscles involved in pushing movements, such as the chest and triceps, optimizing time in the gym without neglecting deltoid development. By following a structure like this, you'll be able to get the most out of these 2 exercises and achieve defined, strong, and aesthetically impressive shoulders. But there's still one last key factor that will make a difference in your results: nutrition and rest, which we'll cover in more detail in another video. So there you have it, the 2 unique exercises you really need to define and build impressive shoulders. If you're consistent with the military press and deadlifts in their different variations, you'll see those shoulders you want so badly start to take shape. The path is easier than it sounds. It just takes dedication, technique, and patience. And now, if you really want to take your results to the next level and always be aware of more content based on real and scientific information, be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. That way you won't miss any of the videos that will help you reach your goals efficiently. And don't forget to leave me a comment telling me, which of these exercises do you feel more on your shoulders, the military press or the deadlifts? I'd love to hear about your experience. See you in the next video, and remember, train hard.